Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Genesis 3 verse 16. Unto the woman he said. The woman receives her sentence next to the serpent, and before the man, because she was first and more deeply in the transgression, and was the means of drawing her husband into it. I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. Or thy sorrow of thy conception, or rather of thy pregnancy, since not pain but pleasure is perceived in conception, and besides is a blessing, but this takes in all griefs and sorrows, disorders, and pains, from the time of conception or pregnancy, unto the birth, such as a nausea, a loathing of food, dizziness, pains in the head and teeth, faintings and swoonings, danger of miscarriage, and many distresses in such a case, besides the trouble of bearing such a burden, especially when it grows heavy, and when it is said, I will greatly multiply, or multiplying I will multiply, it not only denotes the certainty of it, but the many and great sorrows endured, and the frequent repetitions of them, by often conceiving, bearing, and bringing forth. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, sons and daughters, with many severe pangs and sharp pains, which are so very acute, that great tribulations and afflictions are often in Scripture set forth by them, and it is remarked by naturalists, that women bring forth their young with more pain than any other creature. And thy desire shall be to thy husband. Which some understand of her desire to the use of the marriage bed, as jarket, and even notwithstanding her sorrows and pains in childbearing, but rather this is to be understood of her being solely at the will and pleasure of her husband, that whatever she desired should be referred to him, whether she should have her desire or not, or the thing she desired, it should be liable to be controlled by his will, which must determine it, and to which she must be subject, as follows. And he shall rule over thee. With less kindness and gentleness, with more rigor and strictness, it looks as if before the transgression there was a greater equality between the man and the woman, or man did not exercise the authority over the woman he afterwards did, or the subjection of her to him was more pleasant and agreeable than now it would be, and this was her chastisement, because she did not ask advice of her husband about eating the fruit, but did it of herself, without his will and consent, and tempted him to do the same.